What's up, everybody? Garrett here, and I know that we're over halfway through October already, but I wanted to make sure to get this out here. I know you guys, a lot of you, are doing your 31 days of Halloween type movies or horror movies or anything like that, and I know every year AMC and other channels do their list every night of different horror movies, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through 10 movies that I think you guys should watch this Halloween. Now, I wanted to make sure to take something that wasn't on any of these mainstream lists. So these are 10 movies that I personally really enjoy. And some kind of fell under the radar, some are talked about, some aren't talked about as much, but I think they should be. So here's 10 movies that I think you should add to your list this October. The first one I want to bring out is a movie called Killer Party. Killer Party. Now, this is an 80s movie. I do believe it has a Blu-ray by Warner, I'm pretty sure. I do not own it. I have an HD remastered DVD of it. But this is a really cool movie here. It kind of starts out like an 80s teen comedy. They talk about going to, a fraternity party, and there's a lot of comedic elements to this movie, but things really start to hit the fan at this party, and it's got some real cool special effects in here. But what I liked the most about this, and which really caught my attention, was at the beginning of the movie. All right, there is a killer little music video in there by a band called White Sister, and the name of the song is April. And just that alone, in my opinion, is worth a watch of this movie. Killer song, 80s hair metal. I liked it so much I actually found the vinyl of the album that song is from, and it's killer. So Killer Party, guys, check it out if you have not seen it. Definitely underrated, not talked about too much, and all in all, great fun movie. All right, number 2. This is actually a Blu-ray, but I don't believe it does have an official Blu-ray release in the U.S. I believe this is a German unrated and region-free cut, and that is Extra. So again, another older flick. I'm pretty sure this is definitely 80s. Flick, but super creepy, guys. Super creepy movie. If you haven't seen this thing, it's some parts in this thing that still scare me now. One scene in particular is one of those scenes that just really stuck with me. This movie here, again, like I said, this is a special limited edition from, I believe, Germany maybe, the 35th anniversary edition. It's got a bunch of different cuts of the film in here. Definitely a huge fan of this movie. Again, it's basically about a guy who has gone missing for a long time, and he finally comes back home to his wife and kid. His wife at this point now has a new boyfriend or new husband, and he's trying to get his family back. But he is not the same guy as he was prior. So you got to kind of feel it out. Special effects in this movie are awesome. It's super creepy. I would definitely check this thing out. It's a little bit disturbing in some parts, but it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. So look for it, Extra. I know you can probably find the DVD relatively easy. Blu-ray, I am not sure. Maybe the DVD is out of print now, for all I know, but give it a look. Extra. I wasn't sure if I was going to add this to the list because it is pretty well known, but again, I also do think it doesn't get enough credit as it does deserve. And this is a Stephen King adaptation of Salem's Lot. All right, this is one of my favorite horror movies. Top 3 vampire movies in my opinion. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna say Lost Boys and Fright Night are my other top 2 favorites, and I think this is definitely a close third. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this movie due to the fact that it is a little bit slow, it's a little bit drawn out, and it's long. Okay, this was a movie that was made for TV back in the day, and I have a couple friends, my uncle included, that when they saw this on TV, they were kids, and it scared the hell out of them, and it still does to this day. Great movie. I could watch this movie every single year. I usually watch it a couple times a year. There's just something about the vibe of this movie. I don't know if it's the atmosphere, I don't know if it's the pacing, but I can really sit down and just chill out and watch this movie and be entertained through the whole thing. It's got a great story, cast is good. I would definitely check this out. Definitely some creepy moments that are going to stick with you if you haven't seen it. if you have seen it, like I said, I do know that a lot of people love it and some people find it a little bit slow and boring. Post in the comments below what you think of this movie. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. All right, keeping with that vampire theme, we're going to bring it back super 80s with this less talked about vampire movie. Like I said, in the same vein as something like Lost Boys, in the same vein as something like A Fright Night, that pure 80s vampire movie, and that is called Vamp. I don't know if you can see it really good on this. This is the Arrow Blu-ray here. Vamp. Let me see if there's any other covers in here. You'll definitely know this cover. I'm going to flip it now. You guys will know this when you see it. This is the original poster art here for Vamp. Awesome movie. You've got Robert Russler on vacation to a strip club, and they hire a stripper, and she's not what she seems. All right, so again, this is definitely one that you guys need to check out, Vamp. It's got Grace Jones in here, who, great movie, super fun. I would definitely check this out if you haven't. Again, I'm not sure the status of the DVD itself. Like I said, it could be out of print. This is the Arrow Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure it's probably still available. I've had this for quite a while. But again, search for it, check it out. It might be streaming, but Vamp, that's the next one I choose on my list. All right, I have a couple in here that are relatively new. This one here came out maybe a year or two ago. Definitely right up my alley. If you look at my shirt here, it's an Are You Afraid of the Dark shirt. This is the time I grew up. This shirt is by a company called Foreign Fright, if you want to check it out. Super cool shirt here. But this movie right here is along those lines. It's something a little bit, more R-rated, but in the same kind of vein as something you would have seen on Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that is a movie called Summer of '84. All right, so again, I know a lot of people really dug this one, but I also know that it kind of slid under the radar for some. So this is the Blu-ray here. I know you can probably stream this on Netflix or on Amazon now. I am pretty sure it should be on there. But again, it's a definitely cool movie. It takes place in the 80s. It's an old school movie about a kid and his friends playing in the neighborhood, and they have a suspicion that their neighbor may be a serial killer. So kind of along the same lines as something like A Fright Night, except instead of being a vampire, it's more like a serial killer. And you know what? They start a little investigation to find out if what they think is true or if they're just overlooking other things. So again, summer of '84, I know it takes place in the summer, but it has an awesome nostalgic vibe. And it's kind of the way that I'm sure most of you who are watching this, including myself, grew up. Hanging around with the kids in the neighborhood late at night, playing things like Manhunt and, figuring out where all the kids are by how many bikes are in the front yard, and you say, hey, that's where everybody is. It really brings back a lot of just living in the suburbs and hanging out with your friends as a kid. So I would definitely check this out if you haven't. Summer of '84, like I said, it's probably pretty easy to track down. This Blu-ray is really, really cheap if you go on Amazon, and it's definitely worth it. We're going to stick to something that came out within the last 5 years, I believe. I'm hoping I'm not dating myself on when this came out, but I do know that this is on streaming right now. I've seen it on there, but when I first saw this movie, it freaked me out, and there's a lot of scenes in here that are super creepy, and if you haven't checked this out, I definitely would, and it is called The Taking of Deborah Logan. All right, so again, this kind of snuck under the radar when it first came out. I don't know why I checked it out, but it's basically a found footage movie about them documenting someone, I believe it's the girl's mother or her grandmother with Alzheimer's. So, for people that have dealt with that before, it might be a cool watch, but it does get a little bit extreme as we go. And like I said before, there are some scenes in this that still creep me out, and ones that I'll never forget, similar to, like I said, about Extra. So definitely check this one out. Came out a couple of years ago. The Taking of Deborah Logan. It is on streaming now, maybe Netflix or Prime. I'm not sure, but it's definitely on one. So check this out. All right, the next couple we're going to go through here. This does have a Blu-ray release. I have it. It's on a double feature from Shout Factory. But this is another great movie. It's got Peter Fonda, and it is called Race with the Devil. Not a movie that is really talked about too much, but it's a super cool movie. Definitely cool. Basically, it's a group of friends. I think it's two couples. They go on a road trip to have a great vacation, and they happen to stumble across some kind of satanic cult ritual on the way, and maybe they just get a little bit too nosy trying to check that out. And then all hell kind of breaks loose and makes their trip a little bit less exciting for them. So, again, if you're into more like, cult type movies, I would definitely check out Race with the Devil. I believe, again, this is probably a late 70s movie. Yeah, 1975 this came out. So, again, I'm not sure how limited this DVD is. It was one of those awesome Anchor Bay titles. I'm not sure if the Blu-ray is still around either, but try to track this down. I might have seen this on streaming, but I could be wrong. But Race with the Devil, check it out. I've got a couple more to go here. This is an awesome movie. I know that it is a hard movie to track down right now. It does deserve a Blu-ray release. So if anybody is watching this that has any kind of pull anywhere, I definitely think that we should try to get this one going. Contact Don Coscarelli and maybe we can make it happen somehow. This is called Kenny and Company. This is a super, super cool movie. It's starring Michael Baldwin from the Phantasm series. And it came out around the same time, so I'm going to say that this one is probably late 70s. Yes, 76 this movie came out, 1976. And it's an awesome coming-of-age story. And there's a big sequence in here revolving around Halloween. And it definitely brings back some memories of being a kid. Yeah, I was not born in 1976, but very, very similar, feeling of when I was a kid and, going to other kids' birthday parties that may be in your class and going to the store with your parents and having to try to pick out that perfect gift, hanging out with your friends, causing trouble on Halloween. Man, all that is in here. It's an awesome coming-of-age story that does have some Halloween elements in it. And I do think if you can find this movie, you definitely need to grab it. You definitely need to check it out. It's one of my favorites. Okay, gang, I have two left here. The first one I'm going to show is an anthology movie. I'm not even going to say it's a real good and well-done anthology movie, but it's super fun, and it holds kind of a big place in my heart. I can remember one Halloween, probably when I was 13, maybe 14 years old. I was hanging out next door at my neighbor's house, and her and I decided to rent something, and it sounded cool. We had never seen it, and being super grossed out and kind of find it funny. But it's got some creepy moments in it. I guess you could say it's a little bit more made for kids, but I like it a lot. I'm not sure if this has a Blu-ray or not. I'm not sure how easily this is found, but this movie is called The Willys. So The Willys. You've got, I think the narrator might be, who is in this movie? I know Donkey Lips is in this movie. I know that the kid from the Goonies, oh my God, what is his name? Mikey, Sean Astin, he's in this movie. I do remember that. But it's got, some small, short little stories, and, some kind of grossed me out as a kid. And like I said, it's, more kid-friendly, I would say. But it definitely freaked me out when I was probably 12, 13, or whenever it was that I saw this movie. But not one many people talk about. I'm not sure how available this is. I do not think it has a Blu-ray. But this is The Willys, and if you can track this out, it's probably worth a shot. Last one on the list is not save the best for last, but I do like this one a lot. It does not get enough love, I feel like. I don't think this even has a Blu-ray. If it did, I'm sure I would have it. This movie is called Black Roses. So like I said before when I was talking about Killer Party, I'm big into 80s hair metal. This is exactly what this is. It's basically about a hair band, a rock band that comes to a high school and is going to perform. And, when the parents aren't looking and it's just the kids, you know, that's when all hell breaks loose. So it's really, really cool. The effects are so 80s, but it's so awesome. The songs are really good. I have the vinyl soundtrack, and the songs are killer. So again, if you like 80s hair metal, and you like horror, and you like 80s horror with a lot of cool little effects and a lot of fun, I'm going to say you have to track down Black Roses. It's an awesome movie. It's super cool. It's, you know, it's in the same vein as something to me like, you know, I'm going to say Trick or Treat, but even something like The Gate as far as the effects and stuff like that. Definitely a cool movie. Like I said, it's not my favorite out of this bunch, but it's definitely another one that you should check out. All right, thank you so much. I didn't want to make this too long, but I wanted to give you 10 movies that I really enjoy that I think should be added to your list this Halloween. And going back to Salem's Lot, keep your eyes open because I'm going to probably have a more in-depth review with my buddy Wes from Dead Pit regarding that movie. If you guys want to check it out from now until then, and you know, post your stuff in the comments as we are doing our review on the movie. But thank you guys so much. Post in the comments the movies on this list that you did see. Post in the comments any movies that you think don't get enough appreciation under there that maybe I should have added or maybe I need to check out. And maybe I'll do another one of these before the month is over. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye. Stay rad.